Thank you for your... Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay, we've come to the last part. It's the closing. Okay? Let's give a big hand to all of ourselves for staying here and being with us. Okay. So my name is Ranjit Rai. I'm here really as a representative of the top management of the University of the Philippines. You've been hearing University of the Philippines, a lot here. Largely because we are partners with EduConnect, like all of you. And of course, we're also very big on public service. The term we use in our university is public service. But really, today, we learned that public service, at least the brand of public service that's being used in Taiwan, is USR, University Social Responsibility. But whatever term we use, we're enriching how we practice. And we're also broadening and deepening our understanding of how it is to do public service. And today, I have a complete presentation, but really what impressed me the most about today was really the commitment of all our partners. The whole day, and we learned, we listened to presentations. But these are not presentations alone. These are actual life-changing projects done by members of our network to change people's lives. And also to enrich ourselves, not just as individuals, but as academics doing research and teaching. And that's where I'm coming from. So I'd like us to give all ourselves a round of applause because this actually works. University social responsibility actually works. So I'd like to thank, this is the most important. The first two slides, I believe, are the most important for my presentation. First, I'd like to thank the organizers, President Yu, who I met last night, his team, Dr. Sun, and all those who are part of the network who are here today from Japan, from Malaysia, from Thailand. It's incredible just to listen to all your stories. It's important to note, I was not supposed to be here, okay? Somebody else was supposed to be here who was so engrossed in the network. So for me, it's congratulations because I learned a lot. I actually learned a lot from the experience. And so I'd like to congratulate the network. Excellent, excellent conference organized today. All the volunteers, congratulations, okay? And also congratulations to all the presenters for all the reasons I already said earlier, okay? But, I can't start my presentation, and I know you all want to go home, so don't worry, okay? This is only, according to the organizer, because of the time constraints, minus 5 minutes for me. So, okay, I only have 10 minutes, okay? So, I can't start this talk without thanking, Dr. Wu. Can we give him a big hand? Dr. Wu's leadership and citizenship, at least from the side of the University of the Philippines, and I'm talking on behalf of my institution, which by the way is the best university in the Philippines, and it's a public service university, not just an academic research university. We want to thank Dr. Wu for his citizenship and leadership in starting and continuing the work of advocating USR in UP and in Taiwan. If we have a relationship with Southern Taiwan, it's because of Dr. Wu. And of course, all our partners here over the years. This has been 10 years. I think, Dr. Wu, yeah? 10 years. Congratulations, Dr. Wu. Thank you. And, while I was making this, I learned 4 things from all of you because I'm not embedded in this particular discourse. So I learned 4 things. Number 1, and they're listed down here, camaraderie, community, collaboration, bayanihan. I'd like to talk about camaraderie. The first thing I learned today was that what we do as individuals, as citizens, not just of our own countries, but our own regions, our global citizens, is that what we do is more important than anything government does. That's the first thing. And especially if we're all focused on working together along SDG, achieving SDG for all of us, because it's a global concern. It does matter, and your work is a contribution to that. Number two, we can't do this alone. Partnership, community, collaboration, these are important elements for us to succeed. And apparently, we cannot succeed given all the global challenges, regional challenges, especially for Taiwan and the Philippines. I'll talk about our shared challenges. We have to do it together. So that's number two. Partnerships, collaborations matter. Number three, we have to have a framework of doing things. And it's not a framework of, I want to help you because I'm better than you. I think I got that from the coffee project earlier. You went to Thailand hoping to teach them, but in the end, you got taught how to deal with the coffee industry. That's the beautiful, That itself is, what's inspiring. And bayanihan is a concept in the Philippines about community. Here, because of Dr. Wu, we have a new concept called Taiwanihan, having a sense of community, meaning, it's not just about us helping you, it's really us trying to learn from each other and trying to build a better place for all of us. No? And it sounds idealistic, it sounds cliche, but really, when you think about it, if you actually were awake the whole morning, and afternoon, and by the way, that was a struggle for me also, Okay, you'll be inspired by the stories. You'll be inspired by the fact that, all these activities actually touch people's lives. Okay, so what's my contribution to this discussion? Last 5 minutes, is the idea that let's have a USR, a new USR for all our network, for the Philippine network, for the Taiwan network, for the EduConnect network and all the partners. Let's build a new space. And my boss, the president of the University of the Philippines, his executive vice president, have suggested to me, why don't you offer the Philippines as a new space for these kinds of collaborations? And how do we do this? We have to forget that there are borders. We have to forget that there's a Taiwan, there's a Philippines. There actually is a logical link between linking or putting together a corridor, not just for USR, but for growth in general, a growth corridor. Northern Philippines, or the Philippines, which is called Luzon, that's on top of the Philippines, where the red spot is, and Southern Taiwan. If we can link each other, conceptualize borderless region, new region, for us to do all our work, not for the Philippines, but for the whole region and maybe even for the globe, a model for working together. So that's my argument, that's my university's idea. We are not just the University of the Philippines with our 8 constituent universities, our 17 campuses, our nearly 50,000 students. We are actually a network of 61 large universities around the country. We're the hub, they're the spokes. We're here to contribute to this network. EduConnect, I hear, is also a very big network. So why don't we just think about building this as a project for the future? Just a concept, okay? The North, building a new corridor of growth. Luzon, not economic, but growth corridor. And I mean growth in a broad sense. Cultural, political, economic, social. Okay, the idea, the concept of a borderless university network, the important point here to raise is that we don't rely on government. And as much as possible, let's not invite government, but we have to, okay. As Joanne properly, as one of our colleagues probably argued, the private sector is really much better at doing stuff, no? And all your examples show that if the universities come together, not only is collaboration more successful, it's more meaningful also. So universities, note, universities are the agents, not governments, not the private side, it's a university. So once we start linking universities together, it's easier to get the job done. Whatever that job is, whether it's chasing after SDG or simply changing lives or inspiring our faculty, not to retire early, but to do more, okay? Like Dr. Wu, okay? Okay, the initiative leverages the concept of borderless university network to enhance competitiveness, foster a dynamic, interconnected community. So the concept is community. The network is unique because it provides a platform for education, growth, okay, and cultural understanding in the Asia-Pacific region. Okay, and that has a lot of potential for Taiwan and the Philippines. Now, why Taiwan? Why not Japan? We have all of these. I'm just illustrating the fact that the borders between Taiwan and the Philippines are imagined. You know, they're more political than anything. You see, Taiwan is a democracy like the Philippines. It's an island nation just like the Philippines. There's a natural connect. Now, I don't know why we haven't thought of it this way. We've been together for so long. We have the same challenges, by the way, okay, and challengers, okay. Let's be quiet about that. But the thing is, that being said, there are also a lot of cultural, we're two very distinct cultures, but there are a lot of cultural nuances and, how should I say this, similarities and connections. One big connection is a lot of us are Christian. Let's face it. That's a unique link. Our biographies, histories, our religious, philosophical inclinations are intertwined. Japan is a very close neighbor, a very close partner. But Japanese are more Buddhist than Christian. Nothing against that, but there's a unique fit between Taiwan and the Philippines. And many of our countrymen work in Taiwan. So this is something we should explore because this is just a space anyway. Let's build this space, but build it around networks of universities working towards a common purpose. And I think the common purpose would be SDGs. Okay? So anyway, that's it. So, but is this something new? No, it's not something new. Actually, our president, Gigil Jimenez, has been talking about this borderless university networks. The UP Vinta, Dr. Wu, has been there for some time. Yeah, and I hope Dr. Wu, you won't feel bad and won't give up. We have to take your word for it. We have to have the patience of farmers, okay? Because not everybody thinks this way. Not everybody in our countries think this way. They think in very specific terms, economic growth, corridor. But here, we're talking about universities coming together, students coming together. Imagine if Taiwanese students can just come for a semester to study in any university in the network. Of course, yeah, that's something. Yeah? You see, the more we integrate culturally and provide a model for that kind of integration, whether as long as it's not political or permanent, you provide a model for the world for cultural understanding, and that's the way to go. Okay, in an era where there's so many challenges and problems, no, it's incumbent on us to find ways to work as a community. Okay, nothing new about this. So the network. So that's the idea. Who makes up the network? It's just really universities. Yes, we can include local governments from Taiwan and from southern Taiwan and maybe cooperative local governments from the Philippines and maybe other partners, but it's largely universities, okay? So what are the objectives? Again, is to establish a borderless university network. I'm suggesting this on behalf of my boss, who's not here, saying, can we make this a USR project? Can we make this a reality? Okay, Dr. Wu and our partners here. And why are we building it? To establish a borderless university network where we can exchange knowledge, research, students, and teachers, no? Okay? A virtual and real, no? Learning space where we can collaborate and cooperate. I forgot the word cooperate. Number two, to promote integrated development. However we understand it, no? We have a big debate if development is economic, social, human, or about SDGs. But see, the link here is, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, I'm getting better at this, okay? It's North Luzon and Southern Taiwan. Let's start there, okay, with our own existing networks. Okay? And then, of course, to foster the spirit of bayanihan. Now, okay, for our Taiwanese students, bayanihan, and in the case of Dr. Wu, Taiwanihan, it's just another word for sense of community, where people enter into a contract, not contract, but into an understanding that we help each other because we want to simply help each other, because together we'll make it. Okay, there's no payment, there's no remuneration. We willingly enter into a contract to help each other. Okay, so that's symbolized in the Philippines by people carrying the houses, literally carrying a house from one side of the community to another. And nobody gets paid, we just do it because we have to do it. Because one day we'll need to do that. They'll need to do that for us. So we help each other. So bayanihan is a term. Number 2 is to create a hub for peace and cultural exchange. So this new zone, North Luzon, whatever you call it, North Luzon, Southern Taiwan Growth Corridor, should be a zone for peace, neutrality, cultural exchange. Because the closer we are, the better we'll work together. The closer we are, the more we understand each other, the more likely we'll be able to work together to solve the problems that beset us, as human beings, diba? I mean, the climate change is one. I heard this afternoon, the aging population. That's a real problem for Taiwan. That is completely unheard of in the Philippines. Everybody's young. Everybody's below 30 years old. I don't even think I'm old, although I'm aging also. Yeah, okay. So, but the thing is, imagine if our retirees from Taiwan who want to be productive can work in this new area, yeah, and live in communities provided for by this new zone. And Filipino young people can replace your aging workforce. Of course, you can always opt for robots, no? But okay. So these are some very nominal ways of looking at it. But that's the way to go. You have to find a neighbor to solve some of the problems that you can't solve, and likely in the Taiwan's case will not be able to solve over the next 5-10 years. It's going to age. It's the natural way. I mean, most of North Asia, except for China, is going through this particular problem. Even our brothers from Japan. I mean, at some level, it's going to be very expensive for the state to sustain Dr. Wu. So maybe it will be better if he retires in North Luzon, right? Dr. Wu, I mean, it's just logical. But we don't think in those terms. We always think in terms of our country, our jurisdiction. These are imagined, borders. So we suggest a borderless. So I guess maybe, because everybody's a bit tired, this is basically the concept. Yeah. And of course, because we're going to go this borderless university network, we can do more good. Okay? We can do more good because it'll be a new platform to do what you call regional university social responsibility. Public service, not just for your own backyard, but for your own community, but for the community of nations around you. We have to understand we're 2 island nations. There are lots, no? Of course, there's Indonesia, but Taiwan and the Philippines has a unique historical, strategic, okay, and at some level political connection. We're both democracies, okay, and so we need to work together to sustain not just our way of life but also our values. And the best way to do that is to work together, okay. So if a disaster comes to, I hope not, to one country, or at least if it happens to Taiwan, you can go to the Philippines and migrate, or be a refugee in our place. I'm just kidding, no. But but the Philippines is huge. There's so much resource. We're the 5th most mineralized country in the world. So there's so much to share from our side. But we have to start thinking as Asians to work together more closely. Okay. So but it has to start with university networks. It has to start with the academician, those who live the life of the mind. Okay? Okay, this is just really something that Dr. Wu already talked about. Regional USR, this new network will become a good governance, have a model for the rest of the world. And hopefully, it's not just nation building, but not just for the Philippines, but Taiwan, but a model for building, stronger, communities around the world and particularly in our own region. So, all the others have talked about their own models. We already have this. The previous presenter talked about the UP OpenU. So, are there models that already exist? Yes. Is there a network in Taiwan and the Philippines of universities that are willing? Yes. Okay, so and we talked about lakbay. We already have projects. Yes, Dr. Wu and to the others, maybe it's slow, it's not enough, we're not yet where we're supposed to be. But really, things are moving, things have happened, and things are going to happen more. The more we realize that we're interconnected and that we have to find a way to work together, to collaborate and cooperate more. So we have lakbay. These are small projects, but they mean something, that we can do it. Dr. Wu talked about this. Southern Taiwan is just 90 minutes, okay? You can actually swim, no? A few days to get there. It's not impossible. In short, this is something that we have to conceptualize as academics. The natural, regional space, no? Okay. And of course, I'd like to conclude by saying that the North Luzon Southern Taiwan University and Industry Network presents a unique opportunity to revolutionize education, drive economic growth, foster cultural understanding in the Asia-Pacific region. So with that, I'd like to end my own discussion and my own closing remarks by saying that, number one, I learned a couple of things, a recap. One is that what we do as individuals, as academics, as researchers, as students, is more important than anything government does. Number two, that social responsibility by university, public service as we use it, really works. Third, we work best when we collaborate, cooperate with one another. And fourth, we can do this, no? We can do this. We can reimagine ourselves, no? I have a few slides here, but the basic argument is that we can build this network. It exists. All we have to do now is to just imagine that we can move from good to better. With that, I'd like to say thank you, congratulations to all, and hope we have a great day ahead of us. Thank you.